it's a very stressful time, I would say, as a high school senior, especially. And there's lots of really good schools out there and lots of really good choices for you. And so hopefully that can reduce the stress a little bit. It's very important to find your fit. And while there are lots of schools out there, this is an excellent school here at Agnes Scott. And hopefully this event and other events and other ways you interact with Agnes Scott can help you determine whether you find that fit. And so trust yourself and trust your gut, because you have some sense of who you are and how an institution can support you moving forward.
Yeah, I also went to a liberal arts college. I grew up in Atlanta and I love being home now, but at the time of getting out of high school, I wanted to get further away. But I really appreciate having gone to a college where I got to know my professors and they really read my writing. And now that I'm the professor, I'm the one who's reading the writing and I know that. So when I went to graduate school, I was the only one in my class who had gone to a liberal arts college. I always say I became a TA, I became a teaching assistant, and I never had one. So I really appreciated that. And you will get a liberal arts college, Agnes Scott or another one, will give you that experience of the hands-on learning. You get to get into the archives, you get to get into the labs. That are many experiences reserved for graduate students at larger schools. And you're going to get to know your professors. You're not going to have a teaching assistant. You're not going to be taught by grad students. You're going to be taught from day one by professors. And that experience is amazing. So I have a student who is now a 3L at Northeastern Law School. And she said that one of her teachers told her she's the best writer in her class. And she came back and reluctantly told me, like, yeah, all of that, like, editing you made me do. But you're really getting that attention, and you're really getting what you pay for at a liberal arts college. So I think that's so valuable.
Thank you. And also just to piggyback off of what Professor Morris said, the way that at a liberal arts college, you get to explore these opportunities that at a larger institution or a research institution, those things are reserved for the pre-med students or the pre-law students or the music students, right? And so at a place like Agnes Scott, where you can really sort of explore all of these different opportunities that are available. You heard all of the different hats that we wear as faculty members. That's been one of the things that is so great about teaching here. But really thinking about the opportunities and the things that you want to do in college, right? And not just this sort of narrower approach, but really thinking about what are the things I want to do? What are the things I want to experience? And like Professor Font says, really thinking about where the best fit is, where you can explore those things that'll give you those kinds of options. So thank you for having me, and Lauren is going to chime in on that question before we go.
Briefly, you all said, I agree with so many things that you all said. One thing, I went to a very large state school for financial reasons so that I could take advantage of the Hope Scholarship. I also went to a very tiny high school and was pretty ready to just blend in with the crowd and not know every single person. My graduating class had like 12 people in it. I think one thing now, if I were to do it again, and I wish I had gone to a liberal arts college for all the reasons named, but I would look at things like, all colleges are going to have great teachers. They are. And they're going to have, beautiful PR materials and often really pretty quads and those sorts of things. But something I would look at now, if I were to do it again, is the mission of the college or the institution. And what seem to be their values and how do those square with what's important to you and what your values are. And so for me, a school like Agnes Scott would have been a really great fit. You know, it's a school that's committed to social justice. The mission is to think deeply and go out and live honorably, and to, you know, change the problems that you see in the world, and to leave feeling with a sense of confidence that I think comes from getting to know your faculty and knowing your peers, that you actually think you can do something about it. And then, you know, you want to be in a place where you feel comfortable, and as Dr. Fawn said, you know yourself. But I think you also want to be at a place that feels like it's going to challenge you some, and that it's going to stretch you to grow. So those are the things I would look for were I to do it again. But I don't envy you in that position. I was totally overwhelmed by all of the choices. And just remember, if you were to get somewhere that wasn't a good fit, it's not etched in stone. You can pick a different path, change tracks.